Welcome to the Secret Life of Therapist. I'm your host, Dr. Habiba Zaman. I have therapist here, Kaylan Maloney, and we are here to talk to you about all kinds of things. We have a theory, we have a plan, we have an idea of the theme that we were going to discuss, but as you have noticed, if you've listened to any of these, we don't ever stay on topic.
We're starting though.
So,
it's a good start.
are we though?
Yeah. We'll bring it back around.
We'll bring it around.
Yeah.
But just prepare yourselves. We're going to talk about love, relationships, intimacy, all the things that make us exist. All the things that's required to be able to exist, to feel fulfilled, to feel happy in life. And our topic for today is going to be the difference between being loved and being chosen.
Yeah. Very deep one. Because there's a big distinct difference, but I think it's a much necessary conversation for sure.
How long did it take you to know the difference?
How you know I know the difference? That's the question. But it's like it really takes a while, and I think just because of my past and like all of my PTSD things, I didn't really get a chance to even know the difference. So by the time I really got like growing up and realizing different things and having my own type of even friendships, just relationships in general, was like, oh, I don't think this is what's supposed to be happening here. Like I could tell like internally that something wasn't right, but I didn't know what it was. So bringing it into that of like that love versus chosen, and so recognizing. So I would say the thing like, oh, if they really cared, they wouldn't do this. Or I call her all the time, but she never does it. So like I'll say it, but I was never able to really connect it until probably a couple years recently, probably the last 5 years or so. Like it's been recent, and I'm still learning more because it's just so many. It's not like a one-stop shop. There's so many layers to that.
I don't know if mine was intentional. When I would talk about what it means to be valued, what it means to be loved, what it means to be important to someone.
Yeah.
I didn't make that distinction that there is a difference between being loved by someone but not necessarily chosen. For me, that's maybe in the last 3 years.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah.
That intentional, very deliberate defining of what that means and what that looks like didn't happen for me until about 3 years
ago. It came up for me because I was very tired of feeling used, and I was just very hard on myself of like, how do I keep ending up here where I'm just continuously being used? Like, what is the problem?
And so, even that, right? Like I have moments with my clients where I'll say the word used, and then they'll immediately reject it and say, no, I don't feel used by them.
Yeah.
Because I know they love me. Two different things.
Very different.
Two different things.
Yeah.
Right? But again, it is very difficult to be able to acknowledge I feel used by this person, because the betrayal of that is very hard to cope with.
Yeah. Because if I'm thinking that you love me, and I believe we share the same love, you can't love me if you betray me. Like, it cannot be two things. Like, love is gonna involve some discomfort, but not a betrayal. Like, so it is gonna be a bit of a hardship to have to be honest with yourself about, oh, visit this or that. So I think it was more just digging within myself and doing even my own therapies of like, what is going on within my relationships here. And then it became a question of, have I ever loved? Or like, have I ever been loved? So then it just rolls over some more. So it really was like, have I ever been loved or been in love?
Both.
Yes, but not until again recently. And it's I think it's still in that space of what is my definition of it, and like, how do I understand it? Of course, you have your parental ways, which is very different, but my parents love very differently, and I think that also is part of the difficulty with me understanding what is love and what makes love. And then I read your fucking book, which was fantastic.
Which one?
The pink one.
Oh God! How we choose who we love.
Yes, I read that one.
That was definitely part of this journey of me
Yes.
deciding what is love, how do
Yeah.
you define love, and what is it to be loved.
So that was like my modern one, and then I had an older one my dad gave me. I always get it backwards, but it's either too good to leave but too bad to stay, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a very old book. I breezed through that shit in like 2 days. But between those two, those really helped me to bring some more kind of understanding or even questions raised of what is this really, and like how is this really happening? Because again, if we're basing it off of what we've experienced, of course, our blueprint, right? So then I have to think, because it was given to me in this way, does it mean that it's the way, or is
Hmm.
it just a way?
And it's the same thing with the concept of self-abandonment. I would have
Like
I
what?
would have gone against that too. Where in therapy words, self-abandonment is same thing as what we discussed before with codependency, right? Where
Mhm.
you're willing to give to other people without recognizing that it's not being given back to you, that
Mhm.
the reciprocal nature of it isn't there.
Yeah.
But I would have 100% said, I'm not abandoning myself. I set
Mhm.
boundaries. I ask for what I want. I
Yes.
explain what that looks like. And I speak up for myself when I'm hurt.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and yet I stay,
Mhm.
which is self abandonment. And that was something else that wasn't taught to me.
Yeah.
And from what we were talking about with our blueprints, right? When the purpose of your role in your family when you're a child is to be the good one,
Mhm.
right? You will choose being good so you can maintain peace
Mhm.
or validation or just avoiding conflict. So
Mhm.
when the focus becomes on being good rather than on it being fair
Mhm.
or rather than being reciprocal or
Mhm.
understood,
Yeah.
right? You will always self abandon.
Mhm.
And for someone who's been abandoned and has all kinds of abandonment shit, I was like, why would I abandon myself? The only person I know that I can rely on, the only person that's going to have my back is me. So, of
Mhm.
course, I don't do that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. And again, just the ability to be honest with yourself is a double bind. Even if you think you are, which I always thought I was like,
A little bit you are.
no.
But
Mm-mm.
like to be fully, it is
Mm-mm.
so difficult.
And that's where I therapy for me has also been so critical, where I had, let me put it this way, the therapists that I've had that will call me on my shit have been
Yes.
pivotal, because the
Yes.
ones that I did who just sat there and watched me kind of like sit in sand, what is that called, quicksand,
Quicksand. Mhm.
that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Like they're watching me kind of just like slowly sink, and they're like, she'll get it,
Yeah.
she'll get it, she'll get
How
it.
are
And
you
I'm like,
feeling?
watch my resilience keep dragging me down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is why I hate the word resilient so much. Also, I'm tired of being resilient. I'm tired of bouncing back. I would love to be in a situation and create an existence for myself where I don't need to be anymore.
Yeah.
Not to that degree.
But I think that's why it was so difficult for me to understand that there is a difference between the two. Because my thought was, with this person caring for me or loving me, then they have chosen me. So then I'm not having to do all of these practices of like being self-reliant. I can depend on this person. I can do all these things. So my thoughts were, or my understanding, I should say, was, if I'm doing this chosen, so I'm purposely doing it, then it's because of love, or it's out of love, or it's da 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 da. Like love is always there together. And then um, I just had to realize that there is a big difference between, like you said, between the two. Because so I'm a super big foodie, as you know. So I think about it like I choose to go to certain restaurants, but it doesn't mean I love it.
Mhm.
And so people are very much the same, where they can love you all day, but just they're not choosing you.
Mhm.
Or vice versa, where I'm choosing out of whatever, whatever, whatever. But the love there is like, is that really, is it enough love for it to be considered a whole package? Because oftentimes it's not. It's one or the other.
Well, the other caveat that I hear and I've lived as well was well, they haven't left me, so they must
Yeah.
choose me,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
right? Because they
Mhm.
didn't break up with me, so they say they love me,
Mhm.
and they're still staying here, even though
Mhm.
there's discourse or discontent or
Mhm.
whatever. So that must be choice,
Yeah.
and it's not.
Mhm.
Choice is
They're not choosing you. They're choosing to
no,
stay for themselves,
yes,
not choosing you.
because being in this relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's colleagues, whether it's
Mhm.
a romantic relationship, the benefit that they get,
Yes.
right, is more important to them than the discomfort of leaving a situation.
Mhm. Yeah.
And same for, I've been in relationships. I've stayed longer than I should have
Mhm.
because it wasn't that bad.
Mhm.
And now I force feed all of my clients.
Yes.
Not that bad does not make it good,
Yeah.
because that took forever for me to learn,
Yeah.
right? It's the, the intent versus impact
Mhm.
conversation that wasn't had
Yes.
either. I was always taught by society, by my teachers, by other elders, by family, what was their
Mm.
intention, right? They
Especially
didn't mean
elders.
it.
Yes.
Yes. So if they didn't mean it, you should forgive them.
Yeah.
And somehow that absolves the other person of having to be accountable for the damage of the
Mhm.
impact that was done, regardless of whether or not they intended it to.
Yeah.
And again, self abandonment.
Yeah.
I feel like this theme should be self abandonment
It
instead of
might
love
be.
over choice.
Might be. Yeah.
But that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? Where you don't recognize these behaviors that we
Mhm.
partake in,
Mhm.
that I'm choosing to forgive, I'm choosing to move forward, I'm
Yeah.
choosing to allow, another pushing of this boundary. Like, here's
Mhm.
this boundary, but you pushed it over here. Here's this
Yeah.
boundary, you pushed it again. And I'm allowing it by being understanding or recognizing it's not intent, but at the end of the day, it still has an impact on me.
Right.
But yet somebody's intention is way more important than the impact it had on me.
Right.
And again, back to the childhood part of it, to be good,
Mhm.
right? To maintain peace.
Yeah. I don't want to be difficult. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. And so I think just that practice of like I'm letting go of this. Like I know it's this way. I feel it this way. I don't like it. But I'm just gonna let it go because they didn't mean to, or it wasn't this and that. And it's like no,
Or it's not that bad.
or it's just not that bad. I think a lot of especially the elders, are very much like it's not that bad. So like you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, of course, in their time, relationships were by like duty and like obligation,
Mm-hmm.
and so their purpose for staying and purpose for the relationship within itself is completely different than what it has been.
Right.
So I think when we are looking at what's important for us and what do we need for ourselves, we cannot hold on to those same kind of practices and ideologies because they just don't apply. They didn't apply then either, but it's also like how much opportunity do we have or what is the alternative?
Right.
So being here where we can even have this type of conversation or even thought of um, what can this look like? Because we all understand that love is an action. They don't just feel. So to even take a step further of love and then being chosen are not synonymous.
No. But even love as an action is not the same thing as being chosen.
Right.
That's why it's so nuanced. It's so vague almost. It's like mist, right? It
Yeah.
goes through, it's there, you see that it's there, but it's still something that's not tangible.
So how can you know? Like how can you know where you are with I'm definitely chosen and this person loves me or just kind of like that line in the middle.
So, number one is consistency,
Very good.
right? They show up for you consistently.
Yeah.
It's not, well, I remember this time and they did, and that meant a lot to me. Of course it
Mhm.
did, right? It's supposed to mean a lot to you.
Yeah.
And that's great. But do they show up consistently? Are they there for you consistently? Are they there for you in the different levels that a
Mhm.
person can be there for you? Whether they're there for you emotionally, cognitively, verbally,
Mhm.
right? How do they take things off your plate,
Mhm.
right? And that's one of my qualms. I think I've told you this before with the love languages. right? It's a great way to define it. I love it. I teach it. I think it's very important to be able to identify this is how love shows up. But the problem I have with it is that you're supposed to love everyone that's important to you with all of them, right? I'm supposed to show up. And if you're struggling with something because let's say you're moving and you have 1,000 different things to do and you have a full-time job, that someone shows up for you and they're like, I'm going to help you unbox while you do whatever work you got to do, right?
Yeah.
That's an act of service, right? When you're there in the same situation, you're moving, you have all the shit that you need to do, your kids are running around like banshees, right? And work is still work.
Yeah.
They're not only helping you with something around the house or picking up the kids for you or whatever the fuck that may be, but then they're also there like, hey, you're doing a great job. By the way, like this ship would have sank a long time ago with a lot of people, and you're still keeping it afloat. Just wanted to let you know that I see that in you, right? It's also the same as at the end of the day coming up and sitting next to you and being like, girl, do you need a hug? Right?
Yeah.
Do you need a hug? Do it. Are you good?
Yeah.
Are you good? Let me just pat you for those who don't like physical affection.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I bought you the boxes so I can help pack up these things for you.
Yeah.
That's a gift giving, right? It doesn't have to be something that, oh, I bought you flowers because or whatever. It's I bought the damn boxes for you. Right? That's gift giving. So I don't know which one I'm missing right now.
I think that's all of them.
Is that all of them?
Yeah.
But that's my point, that's one event, that's one scenario. When someone that's supposed to choose you, there's no doubt that they're choosing you because they're choosing you in all those ways.
So they're doing the things.
They're doing all the things and saying the things. And the main part of it is they do it not consistently when things are okay for them. They do it when it's inconvenient for them. When it costs them something. That's when you really know that this person has chosen you. Because anybody can show up for you when it's easy, when they have nothing else going on.
Yeah.
When their life isn't falling apart. But to choose you is to show up for you when yours is in shambles while theirs is as well.
So when does it roll into love? Because I think that last part is what people would take as like a part of the definition of love, of like, because you are going out of your way to these extents,
right,
for me.
But I think to love is also to choose. Does that make sense? Which is what I've struggled with, where when I haven't been chosen, my immediate is, and you just don't give a fuck. Because how can you watch me struggle so hard and not show up for me and act as though there's nothing that you can do or should do, would do, whatever. To me, then that if I'm not chosen, then I'm also not loved, is what I've noticed, is how I define love.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can't imagine watching and knowing somebody's struggling and continuing to just stand by and watch their ship sink.
Right.
Right? Whether it's mental load, whether it's physical load, whether it's financial load, whether it's spiritual load for some other people, right? It doesn't matter. But what I've noticed is people who say they love me but still don't choose me, I think it's because they believe that they have fondness for me. I matter to them because of they love me because of the way they feel when they're with me. So whether it's because they feel important, they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel validated, they feel taken care of, they feel accepted, is the main thing that I've always heard. With my my collection of ducks, right? Of those that I have loved who haven't chosen me back. The one synonym I've always heard is some form of acceptance that they get. They've been accepted by me in a way that no one else had, right? So they slowly unveil all these shadow sides of themselves, right? And they recognize that that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's still accepted and it's still loved because I still fucking loved them and chose them. And yet that didn't reciprocate into it being done for me. Right? Then there's always this rationale for why they didn't show up.
So it would be love without being chosen. It's almost like a selfish act. That's what it sounds like. Like it's for that person because I'm loving you based off of what I'm receiving. But that's the period right there. The choosing you part, I don't know. I can go that over there.
Right. But
Mm-hmm.
I do choose you because that's what I would hear repeatedly. Of course I did. Remember this time.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that time. But didn't I do this too? So anyone who's having to
Justify.
justify it, right, where they're inconsistent, but the times where they have been there
Mm-hmm.
should be enough, that's not choice.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's a very good point though, because we are constantly in that question of like, am I loved by this person? And again, I always believe that our subconscious always gives us the answer,
Hmm.
and so we say it or we feel it, but sometimes it's hard to make that connection because again, being honest with ourselves, like full honesty, is very hard to do. So by the time you're asking that question of like, hey, you're doing all these things, but for some reason it just still doesn't feel like it's enough. I don't know why. You're already saying it right then and there,
Right.
right? Or it's like I'm doing everything I can and things are good until this thing happens. So then it's, well, are you really here for me? Or it's just as long as you are good, because we were here that as well. As long as they're good, I'm good. So we hear the things, and we'll even say the things ourselves, but we're not connecting that these things are not together.
Right.
We're assuming that they're together. So if you choose me, so we're in this relationship, mean that you love me because you do certain things, but yet I still feel like there's something missing in this container here.
Right.
So what is missing in there? Probably the fact that you're not chosen. So what we say now in like our millennial terms, and like on social media, we'll say like, "Girl, that man hates you." That's what we'll say. In reality, of course, no, he doesn't hate you,
No.
but it's like he's really not right here. Like you're there with him, but and again, that's another one of those things that we hear from our elders of like the man needs to choose you. So by carrying that same, I guess, kind of idea, well, we know if it's an idea because they really held on to it like it was a fact. So then we hear it, grow up with it, so we take it as fact. So it's, oh, if he's proposing to me, then
Then he chose
he
me.
chose me. So we
Hmm.
definitely have love here. It's all these things, and no, but he's proposing because he wants you for his life, not like y'all.
Well, and another one where I think it also took me a minute to dissect is the conversation happening organically? Or is it because I'm asking questions? Am I curious and they're responsive and then they'll be curious back?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they initiating? Right?
About just like
Anything,
anything. Mm-hmm.
anything at all. Right? This is something where I went through, what was it, in 2020, I think, just because, oh my God,
Yeah.
2020 was a slap in the face
uh,
for
Everybody, yeah, it was
everyone.
a total
Um,
crap.
and in my household, I was renovating the office, which that
Uh,
was a shit show.
yeah.
And I was starting a new business venture, and I had the kids at home, so I was homeschooling them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Wi-Fi would go out, and then they're crying, and then I'm crying because the Wi-Fi is out because he's in the middle of a algebra test and an
Yeah.
algebra that I couldn't seem to figure out either because I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and so it was just all kinds of chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had people in my life there that they came back when I was like, hey, I'm just going to take a break from this group chat. And I'm going to, wish you guys well, have the best time, but
Mm-hmm.
I have too much, and
Mm-hmm.
this is too much. And the part that was actually too much was the fact that they weren't showing up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, they would drop off food,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because somebody got sick and then they were like, oh, here's food. We wanted to
Mm.
drop off food, make sure you're good. Okay. So I had this group of friends that would be there for me when my life was shit.
Yes.
But the in between pauses, the times, no one was actually ever curious about me.
Yeah.
There wasn't, oh my God, I heard this song and it made me think of you. I saw this meme. Remember the naming of the baby that I
Yes,
sent you?
that was crazy.
I snorted and I was like, I have
Yeah.
to send it to Kaylan because we had just had that conversation
Yeah.
about like
Yeah.
some unique baby name choices.
Mhm. Mhm.
And but things like that where they would see something and it would just say, I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have that.
Mhm.
And so I had a friend that was like, yeah, but if you showed up at my house at 2 a.m., that I would be there for you, right? I was like, yes, but I
Mhm.
also need you to be there for me when things are well.
Yeah, not when I'm in a crisis every time.
Because again, right, and this is a little controversial, but friends who are there for you when your life is on fire,
Mhm.
they get validation from being able to be there for you.
Yes.
But that's when, if that's not that interest and energy and intensity is also not there when things are well,
Mhm.
of let me celebrate your birthday with you, let me celebrate your graduation with
Mhm.
you, let me celebrate just
Or
knowing you,
I'm just gonna come over because I got time.
right?
So I'm dropping by. What
Because
else?
I'm thinking of you,
Yeah.
right? Because that's it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of you and I want to spend that time with you. If that's not there either, then they're also not choosing you.
Yeah. So then what is the friendship here? Like what is the relationship here? So we also have this thing too in our culture where we'll say, well, T-Pain has songs. I'm in love with a stripper. So it's the same concept there. For us, it's like oh, you think the stripper loves you. Got it. No, they're doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So within friendships or even just romantic relationships, when the person is getting the things and they're doing the things and it's, you don't hear from them or see them unless a certain situation comes up, that is the basis of the relationship.
Right.
That's all there is to that. So I mean, sure, we can have a dynamic, but like, are we besties? No.
And that's the thing. So to be clear, I just gave two different examples, right? One where people don't show up because it's
Yes.
inconvenient, versus the other people who always show up when it's inconvenient for
Yes.
them, but
But just the chosen.
right, but it's not consistent.
Right.
They're not there either when things are good.
Mhm.
So with those friends, this group of friends, high achieving,
Mhm.
right? Powerhouse people,
Yeah.
right? So of course they get that sense of importance, self-importance and validation, and I did something good
Yeah.
when they're able
I'm
to
helping. I'm
help the
available.
one that's in
Mhm.
crisis,
Mhm.
right? But then what about the rest of the time,
Yeah.
right? Is that interest and love and investment also there when there's nothing going on?
Mhm.
And that's the part where the consistency is what needs to be watched. Because for me, because I didn't have that kind of, I've said this often enough, right? If I fall, there's no one there to catch me.
Mhm.
That when I finally met a group of people who were always there to catch me when
Mhm.
life went to shit,
Mhm.
right? To me, that was love.
Yeah.
And it is love, but it's still not choice,
Mhm.
right? Because they're not choosing you all the time.
Yeah.
Or are they still choosing me when I disagree with them
Mhm.
and I go against what they believe in and what they're, and I'm like, hey, yeah, that works for you. That doesn't work for me. Are they there to listen to that and accept me as
Mhm.
it is? Or do
Yeah.
I keep those sides of me quiet because they can't handle it?
Yeah. I think also what makes it gray are the people who will say the just enough for you to not second guess. So it's like, I love you, or I know that I'm not doing as much as I need to, and I'm gonna do these things, and da
But
da da
again, if you
da.
know that sentence right there, I know I haven't been consistent with
Mhm.
this, then you dropped the ball. Why are you over here trying to be like, but please forgive me, let me allow access
More
again?
right. So that's what I see from the other side. I think that's what brings up that gray area because we're wanting them to be where we are. We want them to choose us. So we're like, okay, so you do recognize that. Okay, great. Because the thought again is, especially within the clinical world, the first step is acknowledgement and like acceptance. So like you recognize that this is not cool. So then the thought becomes, well, if you recognize it, then you'll change it. But that's not always the case. So I think a lot of times, well, I know for me, I take a lot of stuff personal. And so when the person is coming to me and they're like, oh, well, I know that it's been like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay,
And that's appreciation without intent is what?
no,
Nothing. I can appreciate that you recognize that you haven't shown up for me, but
mm,
I've not seen the intent for that to change.
yeah.
So then what the fuck is that? Nothing. It's limbo.
That's probably
It's
why I
it's
don't
those
know because
it's
I'd be
that
like, I don't
manipulative
care.
in between. And again, A lot of my clients hate it when I call it manipulation. Manipulation is nothing more than moving this to change this.
To get
That's it.
this.
It doesn't
That's it.
necessarily have a negative connotation. It's
Yeah.
just, I am going to take this cold tea and pour hot water and it'll not be hot.
Yeah.
That is manipulating the circumstance and
Yes.
situation to get the outcome that I want. Not necessarily nefarious
Right.
intent right there whatsoever, right? But that is that manipulation that a lot of people live in.
Yeah.
Where they'll say, well, I took accountability.
Yep.
And I'm acknowledging what I did wrong. Okay.
But that's a part of the thing. So my kid, she is so much like, I mean, we're her parents, so we're always gonna be like our parents. But we are both very strong-headed people. Her dad will die on the hill. I'll kind of think about dying and then decide if I want to die, but I will die if I need to die on the hill. She is very headstrong already. She's a little toddler. She got in trouble at some point. She was like with her grandparents. She got in trouble at some point. They told her the infamous, you have to apologize to each other. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate being told what to do. So I hate apologizing for shit that I did not do. It's like number one pet peeve. So here's my kid now. Don't know shit about shit. Are you okay? So you gonna apologize? No. I couldn't be mad at her because in her world, I knew nothing wrong. And then when you think about the story, did she do something wrong? Did I? And so again, that's that gray area of like, well, if they're saying the thing, then it means no, it does not. Like that's just not where it is. If you know where you are and you know what it means for you, then you stay there. If the other person can't meet you where you are, then that's just that. I've even had that as within my own friendships, long time friendships. Then I've gotten that thing of I know this and that, I know this and that. I'm gonna do this and that. I'm gonna work on this and that. And then like they'll do it for a little bit, of course, and then it's like that. And then but meanwhile, I'm like doing all the things that I've continuously always done because I'm choosing that person and that is my love for them. Whether they're in a good space or not. And like sometimes I'm just feeling good and I'll just go. And I'm like, hey, let's go just do this thing, whatever. But unless they have something going on, and then and so the reason why I said when you were like um, what is this without it? And then I said, I don't know because I don't care. That's my immediate thought. If I'm doing all this shit right here, and then you are not, or I'm listening to what you're saying, you're not giving me anything in return, especially consistently, then my cup is empty. I'm not even looking at it half full. It's flat out empty because why would you not? Why would you tell me the thing and not do the thing? So it feels
that goes
like
back to trust.
Yeah.
Right? If they can't follow through, then what's there for you to trust?
Which is no love. So there's immediately I'm like, okay, well, obviously I'm in the again had this person on this particular like pedestal that I thought we were both on, but like we're not. And then it hurts because my God, how could you be so selfish?
And that's where I go back to the love languages that I have an issue with, where people say, well, that's just not how I give love. Right? Whatever the case may be. Like it doesn't cross my mind because it's not natural to me. And I have an issue with that.
Yeah, very much so.
Because again, not only should you be able to show up with all of them, it's not hard.
No, it's not.
Right? The 5 that's there, it's not hard.
No,
acknowledge the other person.
Everybody does it.
Right.
Everybody does it.
At some point or another, you are giving all of these ways. Now, I do believe it's true that you do receive certain things more intensely than you would the rest of them.
Sure.
So, like acts of service for me, that's 100%. Like if someone goes out of their way to do something for me without me having to ask it to be done because they see that it needs to get done. That's it. It just I see that, you have some kind of printed out whatever on the floor over there. Do you need that package mailed out?
Yeah.
I'm just going to take it with me on my way out and I'll mail it out for you.
Yeah.
Right? That to me will always ring true way more than someone showing up with a present.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's even harder to think to identify when those relationships have been for a while. Because it's well, we obviously have love here. Like they obviously love me here. And it's like, well, the time doesn't necessarily equate to love.
That and also like the nice people, right? The ones who are nice, it's a lot harder because they don't fight you, they don't put you down, they don't disregard you actively, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't dismiss you, they're not aggressive with you. So it's very difficult, I think, to leave those relationships,
Mm-hmm.
friendships, whatever.
There's no reason to go.
Right.
There's like not enough big reason for me to go.
Aside from it's just, it feels empty.
Yeah.
If something's falling short, but it's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole need to justify, and again, it goes back into being the good girl when you're a child, right? Or the good boy, or whatever, the good child
Mm-hmm.
in general, to maintain that peace and receive that validation from your parents. It's very hard then to let go of things
Yeah.
as an adult now,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not bad, and you don't want that feeling of having to explain the rejection, because it is, you're rejecting them at that
Mm-hmm.
point, and having to explain that to them because nothing's actually wrong.
Yeah.
But it's
just
also not
fulfilling.
enough.
Yeah. It's
Right,
not
it's not
fulfilling.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
And that's the difference there, is always because they're not choosing you consistently.
Yes.
They're just kind of there.
Mm-hmm. And they might have served their purpose for a time, but it's okay to
And
let it go.
I do want that to be normalized more. I don't think it is, I do agree. You shouldn't run from a situation just because there was one disagreement, right? I agree with that. However, I think it needs to be normalized that the person you were whenever, that needed this friendship, that needed this relationship, that needed this camaraderie, that needed this work relationship, whatever those different types of relationships are, or that mentorship. If that's not who you are anymore, and this person hasn't evolved with you, it's okay to say that was then that, and then redefining what that, the importance of that relationship. It's okay to do that.
Yeah. I think that my as a part of my growth, because I was always I'm just gonna give all the things. Once I started to kind of recognize that space of like, we're cool, but we're not on the same level with the love that we share in this relationship. Once I started to, of course, after that it's boundaries, right? So distancing, things like that, and then it becomes, oh my god, I feel like we're not as whatever, and it's like, no, we're not, because I thought
Because we're not.
It just is not happening. So I don't. There's nothing else for me to do here. So the problem for me is, once I get to that point, though, my boundaries are like, I'm cut off. So it's like, you're not gonna come to my baby shower? No. Why would I want to do that? No. So I don't, and it's not out of anger, but it's like my what I give in my love basket is more than choosing. So you want me to give you a little bit. I don't have the means to give you a little bit. You're either gonna get it or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So there isn't so with my boundaries, I guess they're more rigid in certain spaces for sure, but they're more rigid in spaces that I find to be directly impactful to me.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm not gonna be calling. I'm probably not gonna be seeing you as much and doing all these different things as much, because we're not there. And I'm not a faker with my friendships or relationships.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think the reason when you're done with it, you're done, and then it typically falls apart, is because you're an authentic human being. So you love authentically and with everything you have.
Yes.
And if it's not there, you can't fake it, nor should you. So that authenticity, you can definitely tell when it's no longer, it's been turned off.
My mom is really big on that. She's definitely been a voice a lot in I had like 3 very close, like really friendships growing up. And she would tell me, like, if you notice that all of a sudden you're the problem when you start kind of take a step back from things, or they are like, oh my gosh, why haven't we spoken? And you notice that it's because you haven't been doing the thing. She said, that's because you are the glue, and that's not how that functions. And I'm like, what else? But of course, as I get older, or got older, I'm like, damn, she is right. Like, I feel like this is only here because
you've been dragging it along.
It's not because we're both out here holding the pieces together.
Yeah.
So then again, it becomes, what type of dynamic is this? Because this is definitely not love. So then what is it? We're just associates then? Like, what are we? Because I can't do this. Greatness. No.
Right.
Not when I know that how I function is as full as I can be. And it's not for any type of validation or anything.
Right.
It's just how I am naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And so learning how to do that, learning how to divide it up. And again, still being mindful of, is this person really choosing me or am I here for their benefit?
Right.
So there's, like you said, this kind of mutual exchange here that does need to happen. And it's going to be more than just every blue moon of doing this thing, or whenever in a crisis, I'm going to do this thing. Like, yeah, I mean, I would hope in a crisis you would, like, give me water if I'm on fire, but also not always on fire.
Right.
So,
And then the obvious one is everything is good and you're there and you're consistent and life is really good, except when I am on fire and then you stand there and watch me burn.
yeah, or you're doing really good, so I'm going to bring you my fire.
Oof, that's a
So
whole
now
ass
we can
another
do
one.
this. And it's like,
Ah,
no,
right,
no, it's
right,
not a good time. It's not time for that neither. It's
right,
not like just because I'm not on fire, then you're going to be on fire. No. So that's also a part of that. I think again from the person who is being very genuine in their in behavior and intent, it's a gray area where I have to show up for them because I love them. Like
right,
I'm there, I'm going to do the same. But it is not the same.
right.
And so the line,
The choosing really is it intentional?
yes, definitely purposeful.
Is it consistent
Mm-hmm.
across the board, no matter what? When things
Yeah.
are good, they're there. When things are bad, that they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, is it also still choosing you when it's inconvenient for them?
Mm-hmm.
Like if my ass goes to bed at 9:30,
Mm-hmm.
right? And at 9:30, someone I love and someone I've chosen, someone that's important to me is like, "Oh my fucking god, my life is insane. I can't believe this is happening. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up until whenever
Yeah.
because I still choose you,
Yeah.
right? Until you know that you're there and you're not there alone.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing, to make sure that they know they're not alone,
Yeah.
no matter what it is that I can do. And then I go to bed,
Yeah.
right? Which is very different from someone who calls consistently at 9:30 knowing my ass is about to go to bed,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because then again, that's just dysfunctional on another level because you already know that that's my boundary and
Mm-hmm.
yet you're going to see if you can push it,
Yeah.
right? There's plenty of people like that.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that you need to be like, snip, snip, motherfucker. You don't
Yeah.
have access. That's when the phone goes on do not disturb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah. Somebody, ooh, I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it was my sister or somebody else, but somebody came to me and was like, "You just block everybody." Yeah.
Snip, snip. Oh, what was that? In that, I don't remember what movie, but that Asian guy, he like rolls up his thing and is like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's me.
Is that the Hangover?
I don't know.
Oh my god, yes, I do remember that. It is very much that because, like you said, once I recognize that there is no love there, again, probably from an extreme, just upbringing, experiences, different lessons and whatnot. Once I recognize there's no love there, my extremist is that you could harm me.
Because it
So I
is
can't
harm.
have you
Because it is
guide me.
harm. Because you define love with choice,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just as I do.
Yes.
Um, there's so many people who don't define love that way. So they
No.
genuinely believe that they love you,
Yes.
right? I've had people say, I love you more than anything.
Yeah.
And then yet you're watching me burn.
Yeah.
And you're standing there watching me burn, be like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Even if it's as small as I'm walking in this house with these 10 groceries. Like, even if it's as small as that, it's small, but it's like on all the levels, all capacities. You see the thing.
And then again, people argue, well, maybe they just don't notice these things. Okay. And that's right. Maybe you're just the type, and then, I've had someone say, well, maybe they're just ADD, right? So their brain literally doesn't register that. Okay.
Mm,
ADD as fuck over here. That's not how that works for me
no.
because, and I can see how it has. I was like that as a teenager. My teenagers are the same and they're also ADD as fuck. But then that's working.
Yes.
Again, that's working on yourself to be intentional, to make sure you show up and you check in.
Yes.
You are mindful of the things that's around you
Mm-hmm.
and mindful of what's happening with the people around you.
Yeah.
So I have a very hard time with excuses like that because I feel like that's a way to absolve them of taking accountability and responsibility. However, if they haven't done the work,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they don't consider, oh my god, yeah, you're on fire and seems like you still got it taken care of, so I don't need to offer nothing because you're good, right?
Right.
That might be who they are,
Oh
because
my God. And then it's, if you needed it, you would have said it.
and that's
Oh,
fine. Okay,
not
but
for me.
then, well, and that's the thing though, and that's fine because that's who they are. That's
Yes.
where they are right now.
Yes.
That is the maximum amount of love that
That's
they
fair
can
that they
give.
can do. Yeah.
But then I don't need to sit around letting that wound me, because
Yeah.
that's what it
You're
does.
thinking it will change or be better, or they will, like you said before, they would love you enough to choose you. No.
Because they're not.
For me, you need to choose me fucking first, and then you will love me. Because you have to see me first for who I am and what I have going on, and decide, is it trying worth my goddamn time? And the love will come, but not like years later. But once you see me as I'm presenting,
Right.
it's just like in the store, you see a beautiful pair of shoes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do them. Your love for them comes with how you take care of the shoes, where you wear the shoes, how you wear the shoes, what do you do with them if the heel breaks, or if the patent leather becomes scuffed. Like, what are you doing to care for this particular thing here? That's when it becomes. So for me, it's like, yeah, you need to be able to see me and see what's going on, and then if you decide, okay, girl, good,
And it's okay if they don't.
and
Then
then
I need to be the one, and you need to be the one to say,
okay,
I accept you for you.
yeah,
And then I'm going to leave
yeah.
because this doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Or I need to limit access to how much of me you get,
Yeah.
because it's never going to be reciprocal.
Yeah, and be honest. Hey, why are you being like this? Because this.
Oh, it has to be communicated. I don't believe in, oh, I see that you're not going to meet me, so I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
push you away and then,
Yeah.
and then protect myself. I don't believe in that either. It
No.
needs to be communicated. It needs to be communicated a couple of times, right? Not a couple of different situations and scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is, I feel like you didn't choose me, okay, the next time it happens, they're showing you who they are. This
Yeah.
is the pattern. This is how they love. And if that doesn't work for you, then that doesn't work for you, and that's okay. You wish them well, and then you
Yeah.
keep it moving.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I have to remind them of that. Like, I don't just be blocking. I mean, I'll talk to you before I block. By then, though, I already told you the relationship is done. So by the time I
and all the
cut it
way
out,
through,
yes.
right?
By
There,
the time
all
I
the
cut
times
it,
this has happened
there's no
to
confusion.
now, this is where we are,
Yeah.
and this is now how much it's changed over the course of me having to explain how my needs are not being met.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So be chosen.
be chosen.
Be chosen. The love is always going to be a part of it. But you have to be chosen.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
love.
Thank you. This has been great. I like this one. Yeah.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.